Arcs is the worst game of 2024. Wait. No, that's not the line. Arcs is the best game of 2024. No, that's not quite the line. What do I need to do to get clickbait engagement? Oh, that's right. We're starting off this video because I hate it. But we have to talk about it. Why is Arcs causing people to lose their forking minds? Let's do this. This is not going to be talking about my personal opinion on Arcs. Truth be told, I'm going to be lucky if I even get a review of Arcs out by the end of the year. It's a socially dynamic, heavy, aggressive style of game with repeated play necessary, right? And it's hard for me to get something like that to the table, truth be told. So I don't know. So this is not an opinion piece on my feelings on Arcs. It's more, what the deuce is going on with the hobby? I don't have any problem with people loving a game, right? Everybody loves different things. And that is, as I always say, completely freaking okay. If it is awesome for you, I am really, really happy for you. If it's awesome for me and it's not for you, I am even more happy, actually, because it's me. But that's my point, is that somehow, again, in some different way, shape, or form, because people always find a way to do this, we like trying to make other people feel bad about liking stuff, or we want to make sure that other people know that they're wrong, right? Right. And I made the mistake this week of going down the Arcs rabbit hole, because again, truth be told, right? I want to know, I want to see a little bit more. I want to, that side of things with Arcs. Again, just because I'm interested in it. I've got a copy. It's what we do. That was a mistake. It was a mistake. Because it led me into the world of this very, very divisive element that seems to be very prolific and very vocal right now. And it's the, actually side of things too. All across the board. So this is going to take shots at everybody, essentially, I guess is what I'm saying. On one side of things, we've got people proclaiming it is the best game of the year. You know what? If it's going to be the best game of the year for you, and you can say that already with 4, 5, 6 months left of the year, you know what? Power to you. I personally can't do something like that, right? I need to see what else is going to come out between this and the rest of the year. I personally need to see everything else that comes out before I make final judgments. And sometimes, again, when I play stuff initially and then I circle back around to it, it doesn't always stay where it was. So that's not something that I can do. No, my brain doesn't work that way. Like, it's one thing if I play a game and I just go, hey, you know what? This didn't work for me. This didn't work for me. I know why people may like it. This just, whatever, right? You've seen all of those. I've had those games and I've said, not for me. Clearly for you, not for me. Awesome. Fantastic. Like I was saying earlier, right? But then you've got contrary for the sake of being contrary, right? Like, well, Arcs is not the best game of the year just because Shut Up and Sit Down said it, right? No, literally, someone put that in a title. And then they followed up with, I can win in one turn. Why didn't Shut Up and Sit Down see this? And this wasn't a small issue. And then it was like, okay, well, no, guys. I was just doing this to, provoke conversation. No, you're doing it to be clickbait and to be not a very nice person. It's kind of what it sounded like, again, no reason to include them, no reason to compare, right? When I started doing this channel, this is the weird thing on this side of the internet, right? Like, especially in our hobby, you see it all in other hobbies and other YouTube dramas, right? People talking about other people. I mean, that's the whole YouTube drama scene, right? Like, you've got one person reacting to another person's drama and a third person reacting to the second person's reaction of the first person's drama of their reaction to an event, right? But, we don't talk about other people on our hobby. We just don't do that. It's, personally speaking, one, it's partially etiquette, Two, as exemplified by our political scene in this country in the last week, it's just also sometimes being an a-hole, right? You know, just certain things are a-hole behavior. At the same time, it's, say the words with me, because of the implication. When you are stating things directly like, shut up and sit down, didn't find this, you're implying that your opinion is right. You're not posing hypotheticals there, right? You're doing that for purposeful, potential engagement, and not because you want people to hear what you have to say, but because you're trying to potentially bash other people's opinions on it in the first place, right? Counterpointing is one thing. Directly attacking in that way is a whole nother thing. And that's where that line or that tableau of where is acceptable and where isn't from the YouTube drama side of things starts to, well, cross on the other side of things. Because again, nothing wrong with saying, hey, let's pump the brakes on this one. Let's talk about this in a less biased manner. You know, let's be more objective. Let's say purely, apart from my feelings, does this mechanically do X, Y, or Z in a way that whoever, whatever is going to be relatable, understandable, or not? I guess what leaves the bad taste in my mouth, won't speak for anyone else, right, is that you're using someone else's base in order to prop yourself up, and because of the implication that they are wrong, that you are honest and they are somehow dishonest. And I guess that's where this goes, right? It's not that you have a differing opinion. It's the way in which you try to frame it that dishonesty is on this side of the aisle, honesty is on this side of my aisle, and they're not going to tell you that they're being dishonest, but don't worry, I'm going to wink, wink, nod, nod, dog whistle in the sense that they're being that way. And that's why you should listen to me, right? Because again, like, you can put a counterpoint up there. You know, I had it done to me in sort of a in-between way, to be frank with you guys. You know, let's say hypothetically earlier this year, you put out a video talking about, I don't know, let's pick a random topic that I don't ever talk about, like crowdfunding websites. Someone did a direct retort saying, basically, I was wrong, right? It left me a little bad taste in my mouth in that sense. I didn't even find out about it until, well, after the fact. So water under the bridge. Also, just kind of makes you go, really? Was that really necessary? It's not that the idea expressed in and of itself is a negative thing. Our hobby hype trains things too much, too fast, too far all the time. Anyone remember harmonies? Oh yeah, no, that was earlier 2024. And you know, somehow I don't even know if people are going to have that on their top 10 list, because that was months ago, Chris. But my exaggeration and sarcasm aside, you know what I'm talking about in that same sense. The what have you done for me latelys. And this is another example. And the thing I don't like at the same time is trying to milk it for all it's worth. Because again, not milking it for all it's worth because you need to talk about it, because we're almost trying to create controversy for the sake of creating controversy. That's my issue. If you go into and you say, I'm not gonna like this game, I need to de-hypify, get this off of the hype train side of things, say that this game isn't any good, and I don't know why people like it. Well, yeah, you wonder what the reaction is gonna be, right? Oh, I'm shocked that people are coming out of the woodwork to disagree with me. Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. Oh, I clearly didn't say that. No, I mean, you knew what you're doing, right? This is YouTube. It's clickbait. There's positive clickbait. There's also very negative clickbait. But on the other side of things, again, in the comments sections, in the engagement as a whole, you've got way too many people being, you know, even for the positive reviews. There's another lovely channel that does fantastic work that put out a, yeah, we like it, right? And the first comment was, well, you said you only played it 13 times. Actually, I played it 22 times in the pre-development mode, And I'm guessing that you only played it with 2 players when you should have been playing it with 3 and 4. And because of that, you don't like the campaign as much as the base game. No, seriously, folks. I'm not just ad-libbing that. That is literally a comment on someone's video. Seriously. That's why nobody says on review videos or things like that how many times they play a game. Because if I play a game once and I tell you my impressions, you're going to say, you didn't X, Y, and Z, right? They played it 13 times, and that's not enough for someone, and they're telling them that their opinion, their feelings on it are wrong because this person's feelings are different. Being an a-hole on the internet. Case point number 1, or probably up to 3 now from that sense. But seriously, what is wrong with people? Like I said at the beginning, I will not say ARX is for everybody. It's not for everybody. I think that is the only thing that I would, fight back against, because it's more like Root or Oath or those sorts of games where clearly it has a freaking audience. It also clearly is not going to work for a lot of people, period. You come at me with a, Chris, it's the highest rated game on Board Game Geek of 2024 that's been released this year so far. And that means it's the best game. Because, truth be told, again, I'm not making that up. That was another literal comment in response to some of the conversation that was going on. And it's like, really? You're going to go there? You're going to go there? Who rates stuff on Board Game Geek? The vast majority of people that rate stuff on Board Game Geek are at one end of the spectrum or the other. No, not that spectrum. The spectrum of I either love it or I hates it. As I talked about in one of the previous news videos, right? You've got these people that just want to have their voices feel like they are important and more important than other people's. I'm going to rate this a 1 because they used the wrong image on the cover. It didn't have my favorite super niche character in it. Or designer actually likes their own game. I'm going to rate it a 1. We talked about that last weekend and how much that pisses me off. At the same time, the people who are rating it are tending to be in that extreme with a game this niche, right? It is. And so it's just like heavy games on Board Game Geek. It is. Because what's going on there is the vast majority of people that got it in the first place are probably going to be biased towards liking it. The people that are going to rate it are even going to be probably more biased towards liking it. Because that extreme that I was just mentioning, it's not skewed evenly. It's not a bell curve. It's skewed heavily at one end. And so, yeah, if it is a good game, people that liked it, that thought they were going to like it, that went in wanting to like it in the first place, are probably going to like it more. And you know what? That's called bias. And you know what? That's not a bad thing. Everyone goes, you're biased. Well, yeah, I am. You don't understand it if that's your accusation about biasness, right? Go pick up some scientific method books and see about bias. Bias isn't inherently bad, especially when you know you're biased in the first place. But in this case, an example of, an 8 point whatever rating on Board Game Geek, that just tells me that the people that should like it did like it. There's a lot of great games that aren't the highest rated games of the year they came out. I'll make the argument that probably a good majority of people's favorite games aren't always the highest rated either. Take a look at your own list, for example. That argument basically holds 0 dihydrogen monoxide for me, if you will. It holds 0 water. And why you think it would work in the first place is silly, because Board Game Geek rankings are stupid in the first place. That's a whole nother video. But I guess what I'm trying to say, right, is if you go into making a game or content with a significant agenda, that I am going to bash this game, I am going to purposefully disagree with people out there for the sake of this, right? I mean, that's on you. You can do it. I can't stop you. No one can stop you. But at the same time, again, don't pretend otherwise. Again, you can't really back away from that, You can try and spin the comment section. You can try and make it seem, but no, I mean, people aren't stupid. I work in a field where there is significant person-to-person interaction, right? And I have had plenty of interactions where I know that someone is trying to manipulate me in a way that is clear and obvious, or in a way that they think they're being very subtle about. I didn't get to where I am because I'm stupid, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So when you put out comments or titles along those lines, commentary like that, I mean, you may try and back it off and say, oh, well, no, I didn't, that's not what I actually said. But again, it's like dog whistling. We know what you meant as well.